spells Stubbs.
That's Stubbs.
With SNL celebrating 50 years, I think it's a great time to go ahead and put a top 10 list together for the first 25 seasons. If this is your first time at the channel, please be sure to give us a like and a subscribe. I guess even if it isn't your first time at the channel, but you still haven't hit the like and subscribe button,
please. Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup?
Alright, let's get to it.
Number 10.
Jim Carrey hosting SNL at the height of his powers is pretty much what you'd expect it to be. In this skit, the title character Jimmy Tango is selling a weight loss solution that turns out to be a combination of heat beads and crystal meth. While Carrey chews it up, things reach a new level when Will Ferrell, a man convinced he's become the devil, is challenged by Tango to prove it. As you might be able to tell by the quality of the clip, this one's kind of tough to track down to stream online, but if you get the opportunity to watch all of Jim Carrey's first time hosting, be sure to do so. It was an instant classic.
Number 9. Number 9.
You probably don't recognize this skit by its name, but it's a monument to the sentiment that sometimes the simplest joke is the best joke. Will Ferrell, Cameron Diaz, Horatio Sands, and Anna Gasteyer have one mission. That's to spread friendship, unity, caring, and kindness to the world. But I'm not quite sure Jingleheimer, played by the legendary Tim Meadows, is quite ready to go on that mission with them. This skit takes them right to the edge of what they can get away with on broadcast TV, and it's all the better for it. Be sure to check it out on YouTube.
8.
After hearing reports about killer bees in the vicinity, a couple finds themselves at the mercy of them in their home. These killer bees are in search of pollen, and very disappointed when they discover that there isn't any to be found. The leader of the killer bees delivers a passionate speech. However, the camera work begins to turn sloppy, and after being called out by the likes of Chevy Chase, John Belushi, and Garrett Morris, a frantic Lorne Michaels traces the problem to the control room and deals with it. This is just one great example of them understanding that the format can also be included in the comedy. Killer Bees is available to watch on YouTube.
7.
This bad boy classic features Adam Sandler as a Hurley boy, a young man seeking the opportunity to house sit. Chris Farley is Mr. O'Malley, a man who passionately recommends Hurley's services. By passionately, I mean he takes it to 11 and has Sandler on the verge of breaking pretty much the entire time. These two were absolute gold in their short time of sharing the SNL stage. If you're wondering where the name Hurley came from, it's actually longtime Adam Sandler friend Tim Hurley, who in addition to writing for SNL for a handful of years, shares writing credits for just about every Adam Sandler movie you've ever loved. In addition to this, Hurley is father to Martin Hurley, who is part of the SNL featured comedy group Please Don't Destroy. So see, sometimes nepotism works out for all of us.
6.
This season 1 classic stars Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor. Chase begins a section of an interview process he refers to as word association, in which he says a word and then documents the applicant's response. This sketch is brisk but delivers some great punches, a great example of the show's enduring legacy. This baby goes boldly where only comedy can.
Number 5.
You knew it was bound to be on here. Everyone's heard it, said it, lived it.
First off, I am 35 years old. I am divorced, and I live in a van down by the river.
I'm not even going to talk about it. It literally speaks for itself. What I am going to talk about is SNL isn't where the Matt Foley character was born. Bob Odenkirk, that's right kids, that Bob Odenkirk, created Matt Foley and refined it with Farley in their time at Second City. What's Second City, you ask? Oh, wow. Let's just say it's definitely one of the top 5 comedy institutions in the world. If you don't know, get out there and watch some videos on Second City, and if by some miracle you've never seen a Matt Foley sketch, this is the one to start with.
4.
I'm sure most of you recognize this man.
Thank you all. Good afternoon. Excuse me. Pardon me. Hey, will you cut the malarkey? Okay, I'm talking. There's a white man talking up here.
But did you know that SNL kind of did this 20 years before? Eddie Murphy had left the show as a regular the previous season, and while yes, he had a variety of great recurring characters, it's his undercover race theory skit that gets me every time. Eddie has suspicions that the white people of the world just act a little different when they're alone. There's only one way to find out. by becoming one of them. Eddie Murphy crawled so Dave Chappelle could run. Be sure to track this classic down on YouTube.
3.
Come on, this is no surprise.
The Bears. The Bears.
You knew it was going to be here. Robert Smigel could probably have his own SNL Top 25 list. I'm fairly certain this skit continues to be his longest lasting contribution to pop culture. Seriously, this skit debuted 34 years ago, and I bet "Da Bears" is said on national television at least 10 times a week during football season. It's on commercials, it's on merch, it's everywhere. Still, all of that aside, I picked this episode specifically for a few reasons. Obviously, MJ, the GOAT, appears. Secondly, Chris Farley just gives it his all. And then the Hurricane Query.
Coach Ditka versus the Hurricane, who would win?
Ditka.
Hold on. The name of the hurricane is Hurricane Ditka.
And then when they all start losing focus, it's just perfection. The MJ episode isn't all slam dunks, but there's a few skits on there worth checking out. And with this in mind, make sure you check out this instance of the Superfans. It is peak Superfans.
2.
Will Ferrell is tasked with playing Alex Trebek, a man desperately trying to maintain his dignity while showing just enough vulnerability to open himself to being absolutely punished by his smorgasbord of recurring characters. Although it goes without saying, Daryl Hammond, Sean Connery, and Norm Macdonald's Burt Reynolds are perfectly awful. You would think this series of sketches could easily fall into obscurity with its dependence of familiarity with the celebrities being impersonated, but that's truly only half the fun. The wordplay showcased and manipulation of Jeopardy's format really take it to another level. While this was a recurring favorite, be sure to check out the time Norm Macdonald hosted. Rest in peace, Norm, you absolute legend.
Number 1.
Come on, was there any doubt? You can't even hear the word cowbell without turning it into Christopher Walken. It's crazy to think Will Ferrell pitched this sketch 7 times before it finally made it past the table read. But even then, Lorne Michaels still wasn't sure about it. Obviously, it was meant to be. Could you imagine anyone else on the planet doing this skit? Christopher Walken's cadence is the perfect fuel to Will Ferrell's comedy fire. This is peak SNL, a viral video before we even knew what a viral video was. So there you have it, my top 10 sketches from seasons 1 through 25. What sketches were you shocked to see missing from my list? Let me know in the comments below, and keep an eye out for my next video where I plan on covering my top 10 from the last 25 seasons of SNL. S-T-U-B-S spelled Stubbs.
Stubbs all done.